Hello, I'm Jeremy, and we're going to talk about going woke and going broke. This is because of what's going on with Jordan Peterson, Marvel Comics. This writer, Ta-Nehisi Coates, that guy is just, he's worthless. So I was watching Tim Pool, and he's going over how Jordan Peterson has tweeted out. One of Peterson's followers saw this and got him, so he posted it on what? Twitter? Is that what that thing is? Or Instagram? Twitter. I think it's Twitter. Get to post your stupid little memes to everybody. Yeah, right here. So what the hell? And here you have a bit of the comic right here. It's got Jordan, or the Red Skull, 10 Rules for Life. Jordan Peterson has a book called 12 Rules for Life. Jordan Peterson talks about chaos and order. Carl Luger's genius. He might talk about, I'm not familiar with the German and Russian intellects like he is. I'm assuming so, though, or it wouldn't be on there. In the feminist trap, he's definitely not an advocate of third wave feminism. Neither am I. First wave, yes. Second wave, you're starting to lose me a little bit. Third wave, hell no. Because third wave is not it's not giving everyone equal opportunity. It's the ridiculous crap of, well, women are just like men. No, they're not. Men aren't like men. Women aren't like women. Women sure as hell aren't like men. So if you like what I'm doing, thumbs up, subscribe, help me out with the algorithm. I've got Patreon and Subscribestar, and this is just going to get bigger and more complicated, and we're going to put an end to this because there's going to be some accountability to all of this lying and nonsense that's going on. So first thing, as usual, what is go woke, go broke? So this isn't about changing anybody's minds. It's just about showing the lies, intentional or not. I'm going to say, though, if it's not in their profession, I'm going to say it's unintentional. But if it is in their profession, I'm going to say it's intentional. And so this is exactly what he does for a living, is that he writes. He's supposed to know kind of about what's going on with pop culture and just culture in general. So he should know. He should absolutely know. So I'm going to call this guy a 100% liar. So get woke, go broke is a phrase coined by the internationally best-selling author John Ringo to express the opinion that when organizations, when they get woke to political correct actions, those same actions usually result in a massive loss of income. Now, Temple, he does question, do companies do this to get out of contracts? So this was something that he was commenting on with Georgia laws that they're trying to pass for more stricter measures on voting rights. And I made a video about that, about how you don't want people from other states or other countries or even other cities voting on whatever it is that you're voting on, and that's because they don't know what's going on. You know, an example is like, we don't want Russia meddling in our elections, and the way that the media goes off about it, you would think, but the media and the left seem to just be hypocrites, and they just change it whenever they feel like it. I think some of it, though, is to be an emotional roller coaster ride that sex and anger sell. And without Trump being around and having this kind of villain that they were making up, that all their stuff is going bad, it's going downhill because they don't have anything anymore. And so is this something that could be going on? Do companies really get out of contracts by having this, what did he call it? Something along the lines of kind of having a good attitude. if you know Jordan Peterson, I know Jordan Peterson. I don't know him personally, but I've watched a lot of his videos, and he is nothing like this at all. He's all about propping yourself up, taking care of yourself, minding your P's and Q's, dotting your I's, crossing your T's. And I think some of it is these people actually believe this nonsense. I say this because I just know too many people that I've met where they believe this nonsense. They can't flesh it out. They can't go into any kind of depth. It's just a bunch of platitudes. It's just meaningless little sayings. They sound really nice and cute, but there's nothing to them at all. So an example of this would be that Captain Marvel movie. And what Captain Marvel is, it's a go broke situation where the movie made a lot of money, but it wasn't because the movie was good. It made a lot of money because Marvel was doing fantastic, and everybody was excited about it. They hadn't done any of this going woke crap, and people trashed on it. And so right here, this is a video. It is called Captain Marvel and Unbridled, and it's done by Mauler, and it's just ridiculous. The thing is an hour and 51 minutes long and a few seconds there. The whole time. He's just going through this movie from beginning to end. He refers to Captain Marvel as Plank the whole time. Because nothing goes on. Absolutely nothing happens. Here it is in a nutshell. Spoiler alert. Captain Marvel's good. Nothing can stand in her way. Everything works out. She's perfect. She beats the evil forces. The good guys win. Hurrah. That's literally it. She doesn't develop. She doesn't have any struggles. She has nothing to fear. It's a horrible, horrible movie. Special effects are great. Like the actors, I don't blame the actors. They didn't write it, but it's trash. Good movies are the movies where they're faced with real hard decisions, and that these difficult situations that are being placed before them and everything around it, it's based off of their values, their ethics, their choices, their beliefs. It's not about whether or not if it's a man or a woman, young, old, black, white. It's none of these attributes that you don't have any control over. Captain Marvel, she's perfect because she's a girl. This stereotype is called a Mary Sue. We'll look that up real quick. And Mary Sue is a type of fictional character, usually a young woman who is portrayed as unrealistically free of weaknesses. It's exactly what Captain Marvel is. She has no problems, except that there are people in power, and I suppose men are the villains. There's one scene that was deleted where it was kind of a take from Terminator 2, where there's this big guy on a bike and she beats him up and takes his motorcycle and his leather jacket, just like in Terminator 2. Except in Terminator 2, Arnold Schwarzenegger is a robot. He's got no feelings or emotions of any kind, and he's kind of walking the line right there between being a hero and a villain. That's not her. She has a conscience. She's capable of determining good and bad. With Terminator 2, that's something John Connor's doing throughout the movie. He's trying to teach Terminator, kind of what's good and what's bad. Which, of course, it doesn't work. It does just a smidge, but if you can watch these videos of greenhouse ideas, yeah. audience reaction to Endgame. And you get these reactions, and they are literally from around the world. They're in Scandinavia, they're in South America, they're in Europe, they're in Asia, and you can go through these and go through these and go through these and go through these and go through these. And you know what's really cool? What's really fun is that they're all cheering. They're all caught up in it. You know why? Because the heroes, Thor and Iron Man and Captain America and Black Panther and all of them, none of them are parading around saying, I'm better, I'm the hero because I'm a man, or because I'm straight, or because I'm white. Nobody does this. There's only one scene that does, and that's whenever Captain Marvel comes on. And especially whenever she gets surrounded by the other women, because Peter Parker hands over that glove and says, how are you going to get through them all? And someone responds, she's not alone. And it's like, what happened to all the guys? Did they all just sit down, decided to take a smoke break or something? Did everyone else just stop fighting and having this epic war that was going on? It's garbage. But there are audiences, though, that they cheered whenever they saw that. And so that's why we have to do this, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this go woke, go broke crap. It's the Marvel movies from here on out are going to be more and more like this. So like that, what is it? Thor of Love and Thunder. Valkyrie is going to come out as being bisexual. Who cares? I didn't watch any of the Marvel movies because I gave a damn about anybody's sexual identity. Whenever I was a kid, it was kind of a big thing whenever they had a little sex scene in a movie because it was like, ooh, you know. But I was a kid, and we didn't have the internet back then. And so today, it's like, I see it as they are being lazy or they're incredibly stupid whenever they put in anything with sex. I don't care if it's a sex scene or a discussion of sexuality. It's like, you're lazy. You're stupid. Why don't you stick to the damn story? Why don't you stick to the conflict and the development that's going on? It's just like with Star Wars. Luke Skywalker, in that very first one that came out in the 70s, he was a mess. He didn't know what he wanted to do with his life. He failed on his training whenever he was with Yoda and in the cave. Everything just kind of goes wrong. That new version, what is it, The Force Awakens with Rey, it was almost a remake. It's about an orphan kid on a desert planet whose parents are gone. They run into a droid who's got plans. Except Rey is a Mary Sue. She knows how to do everything. She knows how to work on the Millennium Falcon and to fly it. And she knows everything. She picks up a lightsaber and she's battling Kylo Ren, isn't that his name? And he's supposed to be like this trained, proficient sword master guy. And she beats him? It's like, I don't care what your feelings are. It's not the way that it works. It's not like a gun where you can put a gun in a child's hand and they can point it and start going crazy. You don't know what you're doing with the sword. You're going to lose every single time. Every single time. I don't want any more of this. I don't want this lazy writing and storytelling. I don't want to be tricked and duped into all this stuff anymore. It's like, I want a good story. I want stories evolved around what's going on currently and these good positive outcomes on how you can deal with them. And it's not supposed to be easy. There's a difference between doing what's right and doing what's easy. And people often will do what's easy instead of what's right, because usually doing what's right is what's harder. So an example of this is parents that they will say, I am there for my kids anytime that they need me. I'm willing to talk to them. You know, they just need to let me know, and I'm there for them. It's like, that's lazy. That's wrong. That's trash. The right answer is, I am here for my kids all the time by sitting down with them and talking about their day. And this was something that we used to do whenever we would eat dinner together. We wouldn't watch TV. TV wasn't a big thing whenever, I mean, obviously, whenever TV was first coming around, but you think of something like Leave It to Beaver, and they're all sitting around and they're not watching TV, the old black and white. They're sitting at the dinner table and they're talking about their day. And it's because whenever a baby is born, it doesn't say, hey, give me the keys. I've got to go look at a place and I have a job lined up. No, they say goo goo gaga. Just because they've learned to say a few things and they've been going to school for a little while doesn't mean that they have the answers to everything. They don't have the answers to anything. And so that's why you have to sit them down and you have to ask them, what did you do today? How was school? What happened with your friends? What did the teachers say? And so on and so forth. And then you fill in all the gaps and you make all the corrections whenever they've done something wrong because they're stupid. They're kids. Even today, in my mid-40s, it's still the same whenever I look at 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds. They do things that are absolutely stupid. And it's because, I'm just older. I've been around the block a few more times. I've figured a few more things out. I'm sure that many of them, whenever they get to be my age, it'll be the same. But until that happens, they're idiots. I don't like the virtue signaling. I don't like the laziness. I've got another series with Jordan Peterson on his 12 Rules of Life where I'm trying to work out his book into applying it to your life. And so that means you need to have meaning behind your actions, because you can say that I'm going to diet and exercise, and you can list hundreds of reasons as to why you need to be healthy and in shape and have a good diet and exercise regime. But people don't do it because if it doesn't have meaning, an example is that my mom died of cancer. She wasn't particularly fit. She was overweight. She didn't exercise. And whenever I see someone like, what's that cyclist's name? Lance Armstrong. He had a brain tumor as well. He was extremely fit. And they say this all the time. They say that the healthier you are, the better your body does at fighting any kind of disease. And also just supposedly eating sugar is almost like food for tumors. So I don't know how true that is. I would like to know, which is another reason why I'm building up this website after I start getting some members and subscribers, because I'm not going to rely on the government and I'm not going to rely on YouTube. I'm going to rely on all of you viewers out there, and we will do this together. It's going to be an automated system. I don't want this in comic books. I don't want this in video games. I don't want this in movies. But the problem is that they're not being held accountable. These people just get to say this stuff without any kind of ramifications whatsoever. Yeah, you just can't slap a name on it and it's going to be good. An example of this is that they have sites that you can go to online, and they have all these movies and TV shows, lots of them. You can find Star Wars movies on there that George Lucas or Disney have never made. They come from other countries where they don't care about copyright laws. Just because it has Star Wars slapped on it didn't mean that it's just this wonderful movie. They're garbage. They're not good at all. The scripts are bad. The special effects are bad. The acting's bad. The lighting and the camera shots, everything about them is bad. It's the same thing that happened with Star Wars, with these recent movies that they've put out. They're garbage, and it's just because it has Star Wars on it doesn't mean it's great. Had really good special effects. I think the actors and actresses were fine in their performances, but it really doesn't matter whenever all that is just bad writing, and you can thank Kathleen Kennedy for that. And this is just another person who's in a position of power where she was able to do this nonsense. And as far as I'm concerned, from what I've seen with her talking to George, she was just a damn outright liar. I'm trying not to use profanity because I know that people like to watch some of this stuff with their kids. So I think what it is that there are just so many people who are just so rich that it's not like there's just a few people and they're just kind of wealthy, but there's a lot of people and they're extremely wealthy that they have cash to burn. I want to have a system in place where, how's a way to put it without giving away too much? I guess the way to put it is that, kind of think of it like your resume and your credentials. So then that way I know that if you're trash, I want to be able to look at something like this where it says go woke, go broke. And it's like, oh yeah, Marvel's movies are garbage. This person is garbage. They lie. They are just, they're doing a bunch of things that don't make sense, that I'm not interested in, and I don't want to waste my time or my money on this. I'm not going to be entertained, and I'm going to be pissed off about it. I want to have a place where there's reliable, current, up-to-date information, so then that way I can make the best decisions possible. Because whenever they actually produce something good like Game of Thrones or the Marvel movies, man, that's fun. It's fun watching just even other people whenever you're watching the audience reactions and Thor shows up and lightning's going all over the place, or they're all working together as a team. I really like that line from, who is it, Captain America, and I forget which movie it is, and Tony's saying, we're going to fail. Captain America says, well, we'll do that together too. Oh, it's like, that's good, you know, feeling like you're a part of something and everybody's got your back. That gives you the little warm fuzzies inside. It's not bow down to this person because they're gay or bisexual or woman or man or whatever. It's like, get the hell out of my face with that. You have to be just as dumb as dirt to think that, oh, all straight white men are great. It's like, the hell they are. You also have to be just as equally dumb if you think all gay women are wonderful. It's like, no, they're not. It's on a person-by-person basis. I've got links in the description below to this video from Tim Pool and how they're going woke with this stuff, and they're gonna go broke. There's another video here from The Quartering. Jordan B. Peterson slammed by Marvel Twitter, or Marvel writer. I mean, he's a twit, so. Ta-Nehisi's Coates as Red Skull in new comic. If you don't know what this is the Marvel movie Endgame, or no, Infinity War, and whenever he's going to go get Thanos, is going to get the Soul Stone. The guy flying around with the red face, that's the Red Skull. That's where he ended up. I had to look that up. And it's just, they go off on it. Apparently this guy too, Ta-Nehisi Coates or whatever, he's also going to be directing some movies. I think one of them he said was Superman, and it's going to go woke, and it's like, I don't care. I do not care about going woke. I didn't care for the Captain Marvel movie. I didn't watch it. You want to hear some ridiculous stuff? This Captain Marvel and Unbridled, man, he starts off referring to her as Plank because there's nothing going on here. I'll give you 2 segments to listen to. So what this guy does is he goes through basically the whole movie, and all he does is he has a billion questions and points out plot holes and inconsistencies, and this movie is riddled with them. So here's an example.
Up is a neat bit of back and forth between the group of Kree warriors, almost teasing that they'll have characters, but they don't.
Keep that in mind, I'm not done with it yet.
And just FYI, they have no backstory. There's nothing to them. I've watched this thing. There's nothing about these characters. They're just, I don't know why they're there.
Might be asking why I've skipped over Plank's position in Hala, or how the place functions, or why she's there, or who the...
Be good to know How does this place function? Why are they there? Why are they going to war? Why is she going to war?
People she cares about there are. What drives her? Why does she choose to fight in a war? Well, these would be things that tell us something about her character, and the writers decided it would be better to ignore that part of writing and skip to the mission briefing. So,
You know what the most frustrating part is? That they could have done that. I don't understand that at all. Why the hell could they not explain her? Why could they have not given her some kind of drive as to what it is that she was doing and her history and all? They don't do jack. The whole thing, the whole hour and 51 minutes, it's all this trash. It doesn't get better, it gets worse. I'll show you one more at the end. Here you go. Here's a little snippet right here. The problem with finding a little snippet to take is that it just leads on from one thing to the next. It's just one stupid thing to the second stupid thing to the stupid thing. It's just bang, 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 bang. So
it's almost like this film just doesn't fit at all. Like, it's just so fucking odd that Fury knew about super powerful alien factions in the fucking 90s, and yet he's so surprised to deal with Thor and Loki with no mention of Kree, Skrulls, or Plank herself to anyone or anything. You guys remember this exchange from Avengers?
I'd like to know why S.H.I.E.L.D. is using the Tesseract to build weapons of mass destruction.
Because of him. Last year, Earth had a visitor from another planet who had a grudge match that leveled a small town. We learned that not only are we not alone, but we are hopelessly, hilariously outgunned.
Well, fuck that. Fury met two different alien factions over 15 years ago that were poised to raise Earth. I guess he just fucking forgot, because if they did encounter aliens, their technology and new biology to study, they could have prepared their best soldiers for it. Right?
oh, it's so horrible. I don't want any more trash like this. Again, it's so frustrating because they're perfectly capable of doing this. It's like these two people who were the writers, these two jack-offs over here. Where's Tweedledee and Tweedledum again? I tell you what, they just look like sacks of trash. I want to use other language. I'm sure you could fill it in right there. But it's like, whenever they were writing it, it's like they had not seen any of the other movies. They didn't know what was going on at all. Where is it? Show me Tweedledee. That right there. Who are these losers? That's exactly what they are. Because it's no character development. There's no point where you ever feel like that she's in danger. These two people should never work in the film or movie industry again. It's like this should be done. They're still out there. They're still out there. I don't know why. But if you like this, if you would like to have an end to this, if you would like to be able to know what's so it's the same thing with that IMDb and that Rotten Tomatoes with their scores. Oh, you see this too. Oh, we got to show that. It has been a while since I looked at this. But I know that whenever the movie first came out, that the score that the professionals gave it was like in the 90s. And the audience score, part of the reason why it's so high is because too many people don't know what to look for. I am definitely not qualified to be a critic with movies. Because I could have easily have watched this and just accepted all this, and they could have just rammed it down my throat, and I would have been like, yeah, it wasn't a bad movie. Watch this. I know you probably aren't going to be able to watch the whole hour and 50 minutes of it, but watch like 30 minutes of it. Then go and see if you can find something with other movies. If you've heard that other movies are trash, but maybe you thought it was okay, Google it. Get on YouTube, see if you can find something like this, and then you're going to have second thoughts about how good you actually are a judge of movies. Because I tell you what, I'm pretty trash. Because I would have been like, oh, the movie looks good. I love the special effects, and I like spaceships and heroes and all this stuff. Yeah, so I can't blame the audience score too much. But the professionals, it's like, yeah, they're liars. They're absolute liars. And it's because you've got this guy, and he just tears it apart. Why didn't they? So if you're tired of the lies and the trash and all this stuff, keep watching, like, subscribe, help me out with that algorithm. If you like the video and you understood all this, give it a thumbs up so I know and let everyone else know. And we'll see you again later. Thanks a lot. Bye.